In this video, I'm going to show you all the businesses you can start at Walmart with less than $100. So after this, there's no excuse. Make sure you stick around until the end because I'm going to save some of the best businesses for last. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it.
All right, guys, I'm going to be doing a voiceover for this video because Walmart was literally blasting the greatest hits of the 2000s on the day that I went in to film this video. But before we deep dive into all the different business opportunities that await you inside of Walmart, I am giving away $300 to somebody who's watching this video right now in order to start their business. All you have to do is like the video, comment "I'm all in," and subscribe to the channel, and you are going to be entered to win. Now, bonus entries will be given to anybody who also comments which business they want to start with the money. So enter to win right now if that money would help you get started. But there are three things that you're going to need in order to start any of these businesses. The first one is a way to keep up with customers, send estimates, invoices, and collect payments, which I would highly recommend Quote IQ for this. It's going to make your business look 100 times more professional right out of the gate, and it's going to make it look like you've actually been in business for much longer than you have. So you can try Quote IQ with the first link in the comment section and the description. And if you currently use Quote IQ or you sign up, I'll also give you bonus entries for that. Just comment down below "I love Quote IQ," and we'll give you some bonus entries on that $300 giveaway. Number two is you need insurance. So whether you want it or not, I hate to tell you, you're going to need it. I have a link below to get a free insurance quote. If you're serious about starting a legitimate business, I would highly recommend it because if you mess up something at somebody's property, it could end up costing you a lot more than the $100 that you started the business with. And then lastly, and most importantly, you need a way to get customers. I made an entire video laying out an exact blueprint on how we have diversified our lead flow and how we bring in massive amounts of customers every single month. The video is about 30 minutes long, but it's basically a free course on everything you need to know in order to start driving customers into your business. So I'll have that link below. Highly recommend you watch that whole thing if you're somebody who's super serious about starting this business. But now that we have all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Number one business that I want to talk to you guys about is a mobile oil change / mechanic business. Now, the things that I'm going to be talking to you about in this one with regards to the services you're going to have to offer aren't going to be that hard, right? You're going to be able to look these things up on YouTube and be able to perform them for money. So a couple of things that you're going to need is you're going to need a drain pan, you're going to need an oil spill mat, funnels, also different types of oils depending upon, your customer and who you're working for. Now, the biggest thing with the oil change business is the upsells that you can offer. So once you get on a customer's property, you start servicing them for an oil change. You can then sell them tire pressure checks so you can fill up their tires with air. You can sell them brake pad replacements. You can then get a scan tool to basically tell them what any of their dash lights mean. You could sell them tune-ups, air filter replacements, windshield wipers. You could sell them battery replacements, AC checks and recharges. So there's so many different things within this umbrella of oil changes and mobile mechanics, if you will, that you could start offering people. And all these things you can watch a YouTube video on and you can learn how to do it that same day. So oil changes, you could charge anywhere from $60 to $120 depending upon, what type of oil it is, what type of vehicle it is. And then brake pads, you could charge between $150 and $300. Diagnostics, you could charge $50 to $100. Battery installs, $75 to $150. So basically, you can turn one service, changing people's oil, into a bunch of different services. Mobile mechanics have good recurring work through the changing of the oil every 3 months or, until you reach the certain amount of mileage. And then you can also upsell these one-off services to people who need them, right? This is the stuff that oil changes do to us all the time. We go in for an oil change, they tell us all the things that are wrong with our car, and you could essentially do this at people's work, at people's houses, and you can make a ton of money. Second one is roadside assistance business. So basically people who are stranded on the side of the road. The services that you can offer for this business is jump starts, tire changes, fuel delivery. You could help people who are locked out of their vehicles. You could help people with battery swaps. If they get stuck in a parking lot, they can't turn their battery over. You can help them with that. And for this, we can get a bunch of different tools, some of which are going to cost under $100. I would highly recommend just starting with the essentials first and foremost, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But if you get a roadside kit, that's going to come with a flat tire repair. It's going to come with jumper cables, and it's going to come with safety signals, so that way you can be safe on the road, especially if you're on the side of the road. You could also get, a tire repair patch kit, fix-a-flat, floor jacks, gas canisters. You could get a lug wrench. You could also get an air compressor to fill up people's tires. So this business could get a bit pricey. So I'd start with the roadside kit and gas canister and then reinvest, as money comes into the business. So we'll start with just Simple things like people running out of gas, fixing their tires, and then reinvest into the business as we get more money. Now, this business also goes very well with that mobile mechanic business that we were talking about earlier. So technically, you could run both at the same time. You would just pretty much be on call for the roadside assistance, and you could run your mobile mechanic stuff during the day as well. So both of those businesses would be a great complement to one another. Number 3 is you can start a business that helps other people sell their things, and you can get a percentage of the money off of it. So the thing that sparked this idea for me is I saw a for sale sign, and I started thinking to myself, how could I turn this into a business? And I actually a few years ago had tried this business. I got the idea that people on the internet aren't as good at selling things as I am, and so I could essentially help them sell their things and get a percentage from the sale for doing so. So basically, you just help people sell items that they don't want or they don't have time to sell. So things like furniture, electronics, tools, vehicles, or even business equipment, and then you just get a commission on every single sale. Now for this, I would recommend going for larger items. Basically, the things that I sold were vehicles. I sold multiple different trucks, and I'll include some video footage of that in this video, and we made a good commission on selling these trucks for these people. So basically what you want to do is to get started, you want to make them an offer they can't refuse. I will sell your thing for you, and you don't have to lift a finger, and if it doesn't sell, you don't pay me any money. You just pay me when it sells. You then take that thing and list it on multiple places: Facebook, Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, OfferUp, all these different places, and you can clean it up. You can make it look good. You can take good photos. People who are selling things online that are older, they don't typically know how to take good photos. They don't know how to typically do good descriptions either. So that's where you come in with your expertise, and you can start local, ask friends, family, neighbors. You could target busy people, older people, or people that own businesses that have a ton of inventory that they just need to get rid of and offload. And then just make sure you keep it simple. You want to take good photos, write good descriptions, negotiate for them, and deliver if you need to. For me, I know I didn't want to hold anything, so I just wanted to basically post the items that they already had posted and just do a better job of posting them. And so that's what I did, and we made good money. So commission ranges on this anywhere between 5% to 30%, depending upon how pricey the item is. So I sold 2 trucks for 5% each, and made a little over $500 between the 2 of them. Now, I didn't do this full time. As you guys know, I do a bunch of different side hustles, and so I just did this kind of as a test because it was just something that I wanted to see if I was going to be able to do. So how much can you make on this? I would say part-time, you can make anywhere between $500 to $2,000 a month pretty easily. You just want to make sure you get as many listings as possible. And if you did this as a full-time hustle, there's nothing stopping you from making $3,000 to $5,000 a month realistically, if you're messaging enough people, if you're getting enough good listings, and if people are actually open to you selling their things. But this business is awesome because absolutely no capital is needed. All you need to do is just start reaching out to people on Marketplace with bad listings, telling them that you'd like to relist their items and help them sell them for a commission. Number 4 is car modifications, and specifically what got my attention on this was I saw a can of Plasti Dip. I've done a bunch of Plasti Dipping. I've Plasti Dipped bumpers, car handles. I've also debadged things on vehicles. So if you want to talk about a really easy, low-cost way to get into something, you could technically paint people's, cars, their door handles, their mirrors, their rims for relatively cheap. You could also do some debadging services. But then it kind of got me thinking, how could you go deeper into this car modification list? You could do things like LED light installs for both interior and exterior. You could do window tinting, audio system installs, exhaust upgrades if you're somebody who's particularly handy in that. You could do cold air intake installs. You could do spoiler/body kit installs if you know what you're doing with body work. Sometimes there are easier things that you can install with that. You could do vinyl wraps and decals, and you could also install custom wheels and tires and lowering kits or lift kits for people. So essentially what you would do with a lot of these car modifications, if you're particularly handy with cars, is have your customer pay for whatever product they want to install, and then all you do is come in and do the install. So all you're covering is the cost of the equipment, which, depending on what service you're doing, could range from just a wrench to a couple different tools. And if you do need more tools, you just take a bigger deposit up front in order to do the work, and you're basically being paid to do car modifications. And this goes very well with the first 2 services that we talked about. You could pretty much have a whole car business if you wanted to, where you did work on people's cars, customization for people's cars, and offered any and everything that you could do with regards to vehicles. Next, let's take a step in a different direction. We're going to be talking about easy painting services slash wallpaper install. Now, Walmart has a large variety of different painting supplies. So let's go ahead and talk through a couple different services you could offer and what you could make with those services. First and foremost, painting services you could offer. You could offer accent wall painting. Sometimes people just want one wall to look different. You could offer whole home interior painting, which, that gets a little bit more challenging when you're doing that much painting. You could repaint cabinets. You could do trim and baseboard touch-ups. You could repaint fence and decking. And you can also do paint prep, which is some of the stuff that people don't want to do. So patching, sanding, caulking, things of that nature. Now, with regards to wallpapers, you could do peel and stick wallpaper install, traditional wallpaper, wall mural application, wallpaper removal, as well as custom vinyl decals, for businesses and nurseries and things of that nature. So a lot of different ways you guys can go within the painting services, and Walmart had all the tools necessary in order to start, all of these different small painting services to start making money. Number 6, let's talk about moving services. One of the things that people hate most to do. So there's a lot of different opportunities with regards to moving people's things that can make you a lot of money, and Walmart has all the materials in order to do so. So you can do local residential moves. You can move people into apartments. You can move college students into dorms. You can do furniture delivery for people on Facebook Marketplace. You can do junk removal or donation drop-offs for people, packing and unpacking help. And then you can also load or unload U-Hauls or pods. So if we're talking about the things that don't require, much investment on your part, like moving people doesn't really require much. Like as long as they buy all the supplies, you're basically just the labor, right? So whether it's apartments, college, dorms, people moving out of houses, junk removal will be a little bit harder, right? You're going to need a vehicle, you're going to need a trailer, all that different kind of stuff. But like packing and unpacking help, people would love that, just putting things in boxes and then loading and unloading U-Hauls. So basically for the moving services, you're just leveraging your labor. So you could charge for the job on this one. Let's say that your minimum price is $400. If you did 2 moves a week, that's $800 a week. $3,200 a month. And if you went full time and you were able to get, 3 to 5 moves every single week, you're talking about some serious money just helping people move their things. Number 7 is going to be property maintenance. I was walking down this aisle with a bunch of different household maintenance items, and it got me thinking, what do people hate doing most? They hate maintaining some of these things. So first and foremost, air filter replacements. Okay, I know for sure I don't like replacing my air filters. I don't think about it until the dust buildup is ridiculous, and I would probably pay somebody to come in, change out all of my air filters. Also, you could do easy plumbing fixes. You could do light bulb replacements for people. So if somebody was offering like, hey, I'll come in and change your air filters every, 3 months. I'll also come in and replace any light bulbs that have gone out. That would be a cool little service that somebody could offer and make, good amount of money without having to spend a lot of money. You could also change hooks in bathrooms for people, upgrade shower heads, basically just do little things around the house that people need, kind of like handyman work. But recurring work could be for property managers, could be for homeowners. I know for property managers, a lot of times they're renting out these units and they want a way to kind of keep tabs on the unit without bombarding on their tenants every so often. So you could just go in there every 3 months, change out the filters, change out the light bulbs, and check on the unit for those property managers. And same for homeowners. I know for myself, I hate having to go find different light bulbs that have gone out. I hate having to change air filters. I don't want to think about it. I'd rather somebody just come to my house every 3 months. Maybe they make $50, $100 every time they come and just change out all that stuff for me and make sure I don't need anything. And the good thing is when you're doing this recurring work, you get to check on the house. Hey, is anything else wrong? Do you guys need help with anything else? You're able to stay in front of these customers and continue to offer them services that are going to help them throughout the year. Number 8 is selling cold drinks at busy intersections. I was walking through, I saw this section with coolers, and I thought to myself, a good, easy, simple business that anybody could start without knowing anything about doing anything is selling drinks. So all you would need for this is drinks, your cooler, and ice, and you are ready to start your business. You just need to find a heavily populated area or maybe like places where there's a lot of traffic, a lot of foot traffic, a lot of vehicle traffic, and you can start selling drinks. There's YouTubers like Ryan Trahan that have done, challenges with regards to making money, and this is definitely one of the quickest ways that they have found to make money with the least amount of capital invested. So if you're somebody who just wants to get started in something, and let's say you don't even have like $50, you could go this route. You can make some money and then you could reinvest into some of these other service businesses that we're talking about right now. Number 9 is pool install services and upkeep. Now, I saw a lot of these different pools at Walmart. They all ranged in size, and I think people would pay you to install these pools, and then they would also pay you to do the upkeep, because I know looking at these pools, yes, I would love to have a pool in my backyard, but A, I don't want to make the trip to Walmart. B, I don't want to haul this heavy thing into my car. C, I don't want to come back to the house and unload it and build it. And then I also don't want to maintain it. So what we are selling here is convenience. And so for somebody who wants to have a pool, for somebody who wants to be able to cool down in the summer, and for somebody who just thinks these Walmart pools are a good option, they could pay you to buy it, bring it to their house, install it, and then upkeep it. Okay, so the bigger the pool, the bigger the install price, but you should be able to charge anywhere between $300 to $1,000 per install. And if you wanted to, you could just double the cost of the pool and then charge that. One of the pools in here costs like $700. You could say, hey, it's going to be $1,400 for me to come and install it, and you could probably do it in a day. It comes with instructions. It's pretty easy to read. You just need enough capital to purchase the pool, which you could collect a half upfront down payment from the customer, and that would allow you to buy the pool, go and set it up, and then receive the other half of the money afterwards. And that's something that you can do within Quote IQ. You can accept deposits on payments. You can also have the customer sign the estimate saying that they have agreed to your terms of service and that they are agreeing to pay the amount on the estimate. And that way it just gives you a little bit more coverage, a little bit more peace of mind. You can also collect your deposit that way. So highly recommend using Quote IQ. First link in the comment section and the description. But once you've installed the pools, then you get to make the money on the upkeep of the pool. Hey, we're going to put you on a 1-month deal. Every single month I'm going to come out here. I'm going to, clean the pool out, get the leaves out, make sure that the chemical is balanced and all that good stuff. So like I said, we're selling convenience. A lot of people would like to have a pool. They don't want to set it up. They don't want to keep up with it. So what do? You offer that as a service. Number 10 is a business that I wanted to start a little while back. I had a great idea for this and I thought it would be a banger of a business, and that is to start food gardens for people who can't start them or they don't have enough time. Okay. So basically you charge for the planting, you can charge for the upkeep of them, and you can also charge to build the raised beds or wherever these vegetables are going to be planted at. So basically you want to sell this as they can harvest their own vegetables without any of the work. They can then take those vegetables, they can cook with them, they can do whatever they want with them, and basically you are the one doing the labor for them to reap the reward of them having fresh vegetables. So big money to be made building and planting, and then you get the recurring money made on the upkeep of the beds. I did a whole video on Home Depot businesses, and somebody said, this is really great for one time, but there's not a lot of recurring services. I'm giving you guys a ton of recurring services in this video, so if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button, because the big thing is you want to make the big money on the front end, but you want to make the recurring money on the back end, because if we don't have to acquire another customer, we don't want to. That's probably the most expensive and most time-consuming part of our business. So if every customer that we get, we then can make them a recurring customer, that's going to be the best way to go for us to make the most money in the long run and also provide the best service for that customer. Number 12 is dog walking, pet sitting, and poop pickup. Okay, Walmart's got an extensive amount of dog products here. You could pick up a leash, you could pick up some toys, you could pick up some treats, a poop scooper, and you basically have everything you need to start an animal walking and an animal sitting business with very little investment, both time investment or monetary investment. You just need to make sure you know how to go out and get those customers, which is why I attached the video down below on how you can get a ton of customers and basically my best strategies for getting customers. Number 13 is a cleaning business. Okay, so we've talked about this a lot. I'm just going to briefly cover it. Services that you can offer. You can offer residential cleanings on homes and apartments. You can offer move-in, move-out cleanings for people that are moving in and out of apartments and selling their house. You can offer office and commercial cleanings. You can offer deep cleanings, Airbnb turnovers, and then add-ons like, cleaning inside of fridges, ovens, doing laundry, organizing. But basically, cleaning business is a great way to go. Walmart's got plenty of cleaning supplies. You just want to start with, the most necessary services, or you can start with the services that, cost the least for you to perform. And so that way you could start this business for under $100. After your first job, reinvest. And before you know it, you're going to have plenty of money. The good thing about a cleaning service is you have that first cleaning, which is, a higher price cleaning. And then you have every subsequent cleaning after that. And typically people like to get their homes cleaned once a month. So it allows for a great recurring business. Now, 3 jobs a week at an average of 150 jobs, that's going to be $450 a week, $1,800 a month if you were going to do this part-time. If you did it full-time, which is 2 jobs a day, 5 days a week, you can make up to $6,000 with this just by yourself. So highly recommend. Cleaning business is a good way to go. It's a great business to get into. Now, the last 3 businesses that I'm going to talk about in this video are going to be honorable mentions. I'm not going to go too deep into these because I don't know a lot about them, but Walmart had everything that you're going to need in order to start these businesses. The first one is a party planning business. I know my wife would absolutely love this one, right? So the services you can offer, you can do birthday parties, you can do baby showers and gender reveals, you can do corporate events, kids themed parties, backyard weddings, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to set up the decorations, set up the table, set up the balloons, book the entertainment, and you're just going to kind of run the show with regards to birthday parties, right? Some people don't have a lot of time on their hands, but they're willing to pay somebody to set all this stuff up and get all this stuff and do all the work essentially. I know for me, it's not something I like to do. Like I said, my wife loves it, and she would probably do really well with a party planning business. Number 15 is interior decorating. Services you can offer, you can do room makeovers, you can do furniture and decor sourcing, you can do color scheme and layout planning, holiday or seasonal decorating, which a lot of people do in the winter months. People do, Christmas lighting, not the same as interior decorating, but kind of similar. You can do virtual decorating consultations. You can also do Airbnb or rental space stylings. So for people that are purchasing Airbnbs out of the state, like let's say they live in a different state than what they're purchasing in, you come in and say, hey, we'll get your Airbnb fitted and styled and everything else. So that way you don't have anything to worry about. You could offer that as a service to people who are purchasing homes out of state with the intent of renting them out. The last one is jewelry making. Like I said, I don't know much about this, but you can make bracelets, necklaces, you can make rings, custom nameplate jewelry,